Researchers are just beginning to understand the complex nature of psychic ability. In their efforts to prove that ESP exists, the most startling evidence has come not from human subjects, but from animals. They found that family pets possess mystifying talents which conventional science can't explain.
July 19th, 1989. I'll never forget the date. We were in a car accident. My daughter Lauren was killed in the car accident. I broke my neck.
1 David 1099.
And Neil sustained a traumatic head injury, and it put him in a coma for 3 months.
Lucky is not a word Amelia Stortz would use to describe her son Neil on that tragic night 3 years ago. But Neil was lucky to be alive.
He had suffered a very severe brain injury, and he was in a very deep coma when he came to us.
Neil survived, but doctors did not know if he would ever regain consciousness.
He could have been in it forever. That would be a vegetative state. And what happens in a vegetative state is that their brainstem kind of kicks in and takes over their heart and lungs and their gastrointestinal system, and their eyes are open and they have sleep-wake cycles, but they don't have the ability to follow commands and they're not aware of their environment.
In a seemingly hopeless case, where modern medicine can't provide all the answers, alternative forms of treatment may be called for. Since 1982, the Animal-Assisted Therapy program has been providing Houston area hospitals with animal companionship for patients who may not be responding to more traditional methods of health care.
When patients have had brain injuries, they're oftentimes either comatose or very disoriented, and having animals around, we know from studies, causes people's blood pressure to lessen and they become calmer. It kind of pushes the right buttons, so to speak, and makes it more likely that the patient's going to wake up. There are magical and miraculous things that happen all the time that defy medical science. I don't think that animals and humans working together is very explainable. And when you see something like this, it really is kind of magical.
Neil had been in a coma for 3 months, so animal-assisted therapy was one long shot his family felt was definitely worth trying.
When your child is laying there in a coma, you resort to just about anything, you know, you try anything.
With all conventional treatments exhausted, the one remaining hope was to consult a rather unique specialist by the name of Rex.
Rex was part of a regular visitation team as part of our animal-assisted therapy program, and he happened to get up on Neil's bed and lick his face, and within several hours after that, Neil began to speak.
He licked me, then I woke up.
It's pretty amazing, but if you're going to credit anything or anybody, why not credit Rex, the wonder dog?
Was Neil's recovery a miracle, or could it have been the result of a power animals possess that we do not fully understand yet?
I mean, this was a really big tragedy, you know, to have a little boy that's in a coma, and his little sister was killed, and his mother was also injured in the accident. And it was just, you know, too much for most of us to even conceive. Neil had a lot of previous experiences with animals and really loved animals, and there's at least a hunch that it was a very normalizing experience for Neil and something that he could relate to, instead of us saying, open your eyes, close your hands, you know, yelling commands at him. It was really kind of neat that an animal kind of brought him around.
The extraordinary and inexplicable bond between humans and animals. Researchers are just beginning to study it. But Neil Stortz has already found his proof in a magical friend named Rex.
Rex is a hero because he woke me up.
Thanks for joining us. For Sightings, I'm Tim White. Good night.